Hey everybody, it's Kyle. um, I am super amped today. Today has been amazing. That gentleman that I linked you to in my last video, he's a really cool guy. I've been talking to him on Twitter since I got home a little bit, and like seriously, I gotta say that right now, I'm super happy that I'm starting to connect with other people in the community, and talk to them and get to play matches with them and breed teams to fight with them and everything. I'm so excited. I don't know how much to explain it. I don't know if these two are connected to each other, but I have a strong feeling they are. But he retweeted me the video that I uploaded of us against each other, and we also gained a subscriber today. Now I don't know if it was our subscriber that unsubscribed and then maybe did it by accident and came back, or if it's someone who's come from Ollie's channel. But either way, if you are the gentleman and or lady who left and you have come back, welcome back. Thank you so much for choosing to stay. But if you are a new person, I welcome you. I went and looked at my subscribers, but I don't see you, so I can only imagine that you have them set to private. So I can't welcome you by name, but welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Mainly I do 6v6 singles. I do build videos. I do team videos where I talk about like a good team to put together. I haven't done those yet. But it's a lot of fun. We just have Pokemon. We have a good time. We're a small community, hoping to grow. But it's been great. It's been a good time. So welcome. It's good to have you. Also, guys, I do need to apologize. I don't know what happened to my sound in the last video. I don't know why my voice was so quiet. The only thing I can think of is I didn't pull my mic down. I mean, it was 2-something in the morning. Maybe I just forgot to pull it down, and so it wasn't recording my voice. That's why it sounded like I was yelling from the other room. I'm not sure. You can turn up your volume though, because I did level the music out so that the music wouldn't be too loud if you turned it up. Just remember to turn your volume back down before you watch a different video. so yeah. Also, guys, I've been doing 6v6s. I've done like 5 today. I found my favorite new place to stand and look for battles is actually the South Lumio City Pokemon Center, because people fly there all the time. And so you run into tons of cool people. And while I was sitting at the breeding center, I was running into tons of people that didn't have competitive teams. Probably because it's such an early place to get to in the game. And if people are there breeding, they might not necessarily be breeding for competitive. They might be breeding for shinies, or just breeding because they think it's fun. Or breeding for wonder trades. They're not necessarily there for battling. Whereas in Lumio City, though, South Lumio City is a place that you go to pretty early on as well. I feel like more people fly to Lumios to like level up in the cafes, to get their style up so they can get the Mega Stones cheaper, blah 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 blah. To change their Rotom forms and all that good stuff. And so I just find more competitive people there. I had a couple matches that were really really cool that I wanted to share with you guys, but since it's not like a ranked battle and people aren't like super try hard, sometimes you do get the showdown mentality where as soon as someone makes a mistake or as soon as they realize they're going to lose, they just turn off their Wi-Fi. They don't even forfeit, they turn off their Wi-Fi. So it's a couple of really cool matches that I wanted to show you, but I wasn't able to. Like there was an Arcanine running Play Rough, Play Rough. There was an Arcanine running Outrage from like a past generation. I don't know which generation they got Outrage in, but it is a past generation only move for Arcanine. And I fought a Domfan that had Play Rough, which was really cool. He almost took out my Garchomp with it. And the only reason why I said he almost did is because I switched out Garchomp, expecting him to have the Ice Shard, and he didn't. He had Play Rough. But it was pretty fantastic. It was pretty cool. This match is kind of long, so I am going to briefly go over the teams and then immediately start it. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. But looking at my opponent's team, he's got strength. Look at that. Landorus, Ninetales, Aegislash, Kangaskhan, Talonflame, Cloyster. This man wants to win. Let's put it that way. So we all know Landorus used to terrify me, but Landorus isn't actually that scared of a Pokemon for me anymore, because I know as long as I outspeed it, I can take it out pretty easy. Ninetales is great. She's a good special wall. His is running a few surprises, but since I also run in Ninetales myself and my Sun team, I knew what to expect from this beautiful creature. Aegislash is always a threat because it can go special and it can go physical. It can go weakness policy with Swords Dance. It can go substitute, special. It can do all kinds of stuff. So it's never a good thing to see on your opponent's team. And its typing is so good. As we all know, Aegislash has always been a threat since it came out in Gen 6. Kangaskhan, Mega Kangaskhan, it's used in VGC constantly for a reason. It's really good Pokemon. It's really dangerous, really lethal. Always a threat, but if you know how to handle it, that's one of the Pokemon that Staraptor is designed to counter with its pretty much priority with the Choice Scarf. Close combats usually deal the job. Talonflame, priority Brave Birds. I mean, that's all you got to say. Physical monster. And then Cloysters are so deadly with their shell smashes. And as I told you, Cloyster is one of the things that my team has struggled with, and that this team I feel so confident about. Because even in the matches that I lose, the things that used to just decimate this team don't decimate them anymore. And Tentacruel has been such a good addition to the team. Really, really good addition to the team. Fantastic Pokemon. I'm really good. Yep. Yep, there goes my break. Already lost it. But alright, guys. I've already been talking for 6 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and start this match. It is a long one, so you better grab some popcorn and soda. Just pause the video right now and come back. But here he is. I don't know his name, but sir, good game. He was a very mannered gentleman. He sent me a nice after the match, too, which was fantastic. Now, we just start off with Crude. I expected the Shell Smash. I thought I'd go for Scald here. Oops, I'm a little off. I thought I'd go for the Scald here just to try to get a burn. But against, you know, sadly I didn't get one. The Shell Smash did go off like I expected. But again, if he was Focus Sashed, I was able to break it with the Scald, which was basically what I was going for, because Focus Sash, Shell Smash, say that 5 times fast, is a really dangerous thing. Now, I didn't end up going to Tinker at this point because I knew that I could pretty much tank this thing no matter what he did. As we're going to see here, Rock Blast is going to do 5 damage a pop. Not anything I'm actually too worried about. And that's going to slowly happen because animations are very long on these moves. Now, expecting him to switch out, I actually ended up going for, I believe, my Steel attack here. He didn't switch out, though. He went for the Icicles Crash, which, though its stab is doing about 7 damage a hit, I want to say. Yeah, it looks at 7 damage a hit. So he's done a good chunk of damage to me, but it's not anything that I'm too afraid of. So we all know this thing is bulky as balls. Flash Cannon hits him. I do get the crit, and there's the feint. I don't actually know if that crit mattered, but since it wasn't special, super effective, I do think that crit might have mattered. I do not know. Talonflame comes in and goes for Brave Bird. I thought that he would predict me to switch out, so I went ahead and went for Volt Switch, predicting the Brave Bird, and I was correct, luckily. So he's going to do almost no damage to me, and I'm going to hit him with a Volt Switch, which after the recoil and his Life Orb damage is going to be fantastic. Volt Switch doesn't go off, take him down pretty dang low. So I was definitely happy with that. And I don't remember who I send out here at this point. Oh, F-Zero, because I figured since I was choiced, I'd be able to take him out. I went for the Intimidate, now predicting him to just switch out. I go back into Tinker at this point, thinking that he might switch out into something that can tangle with my... that can take the Brave Bird or the U-Turn. But instead, he goes for U-Turn on himself, so that's fine, because he's going to take more Life Orb damage, and I'm going to take almost nothing. So far, Tinker has already been putting in work. Next, he's going to send out his Ninetales, which is going to set Drought. And Drought Flamethrower onto a physical wall Magneton is going to do too much damage. So, of course, I pull Tinker out. It is too dangerous for him to be there. And I send out Crude, because Crude being a special wall and resisting that fire attack is not going to matter too much. Now, I did get the Confuse Ray, but my attack isn't that high. I'm not too worried about it. I use this as a chance to set up my Toxic Spikes, because most of his Pokemon, except for the ones that have Levitate, obviously, like Landorus, will be affected by the Toxic Spikes, and there's no reason for me not to set them up. So the confusion here, I do get through the confusion, and I set up my first layer of Toxic Spikes. I'm expecting that he might switch out at this point. He ends up going for Solar Beams. We're all going to see. Watch this. I mean, granted, it's a neutral hit, not a super effective hit. Tentacruel is such a bulky Pokemon. In comes the Solar Beam, and it's going to do literally nothing. Not literally nothing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like an 8-hit KO. I went for Scald, expecting him to maybe switch out to try to deal with the Toxic Spikes. I wasn't sure if he had any way to remove it in the Defog or Rapid Spin. I don't know what all Pokemon carry that. He didn't switch out, though. He does have Weakness Policy. But, again, with Tentacruel being as tanky as he is, I'm not afraid of that Weakness Policy, so I stay in. And I'm going to take this Solar Beam again. And we're going to see, even after the Weakness Policy activates, Tentacruel is not too worried about this hit. It does do tons of damage. I'm going to snap out and set up my second layer of spikes at this point, which is going to really start to eat its way into his team. Toxic Spikes is my favorite hazard in the game, even though it's countered a lot easier, I feel like, than other ones, since you don't even have to have a Defogger or Rapid Spinner, you just have to have a Poison Pokemon that touches the ground. But that's fine. Now, I did get confused, and I believe I go for Scald this turn, but I think I'm going to get hit in Confusion. I do. And again, as we can see, the damage isn't too bad from that hit. My Black Sludge is probably healing me pretty much near. He does go for Flamethrower here. As we're going to see, the damage is not too worrisome. Unless he gets a crit, I'm not really looking at anything too dangerous. Now, I'm able to hit him with another Scald here, and I believe the sun has stopped. Yeah, the sun has stopped. So you can see the damage without the sun is significantly better. I mean, obviously, since the sun is cutting back the power of my Scald. But I realize at this point that I can't outlast the Ninetales. I get confused, and again, I'm going to break through and go for Scald, and this would be Ninetales almost down. At this point, just in case he wants to save it to set up the drought later, I went for Hex this turn. Sorry, I know I'm getting ahead. I'll slow down. I went for Hex this turn. That way, even if he did switch into something, if it got poisoned, I would be doing the massive damage boost on Hex. I do snap out of Confusion. Hex goes down, and that is Ninetales off the field. And that is one threat I do not have to worry about anymore. Sorry, my camera is kind of freaking out a little bit there. And so there we go. I think that's first blood for me. I think that was just first blood. So Ninetales is down. Out comes his Landorus. Now at this point, as much as I love you, Crude, and you're very useful, there was no point in me preserving you for later because your HP was too low. And looking at his team, though I would like to keep you for other Pokemon, it was time for you to go at that point. So we do get a trade for trade, so he's actually in a good spot. I put out Misty to threaten him with the Ice Beam. I was hoping he'd overpredict me and stay in, but he did not, and he goes into Aegislash. Now this thing is scary because obviously you can carry the priority Shadow Sneak or Shadow Ball, which are both things that would just destroy Misty. So I don't want to stay in against it, just due to the fact that it could one-shot me. I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that it can one-shot me. Ice Beam isn't going to get the freeze, sadly, but it doesn't happen very often. You cannot bank on that. I go into Tinker, knowing that being my physical wall, and I'm pretty sure most of Aegislash's moves are actually not very effective, will be good, but it turns out he is special, so that Shadow Ball is going to do a ton of damage, and I get the special defense drop. So at this point, I realize it's already time for me to give up Tinker, which really sucks. Now, I'm a little confused here, though, because I have Magnet Pull, but he withdrew Aegislash. Oh, that's right, because he's a ghost. That's right, he's a ghost, and ghosts can't be trapped. That's right, I almost forgot about that. Ghosts can't be trapped in this gen. See, even me, I need to go back and look at my own videos. But Earthquake, as I said, I was sacking Tinker at this point because he didn't have enough HP for me to switch him in, and I wanted a free switch into my next Pokemon. So Tinker is going to go down. I bring Misty back out again. I go for Ice Beam, hoping that he would overpredict, expecting me. I was hoping that he would predict me to predict Aegislash and stay in, but he did not. So once again, this Ice Beam is just hitting an Aegislash, which as we know is not going to do very much. I don't get the freeze again, which is okay, as we know that's not very expected. I can't remember who I switch into at this point to deal with Aegislash. Now that I know he's special, I believe I go into Esquire, my superior. I'm going to see if that's true. It is. Okay, perfect. So I throw Esquire in here knowing since he is a special attacker that I should be okay. Now Substitute is going to do a huge chunk of damage to himself compared to the damage I've been doing, so I was actually okay with that at this point. Though with the leftover stuff, that is going to be a little troublesome. Realizing though that I can set up against him, I go ahead and go for my Calm Mind, because he's either going to have to switch out and just take that substitute damage, or he's going to have to stay in and let me set up. He does end up staying in, and as you can see by his stance change, he goes for the Shadow Ball once more, I believe, this turn. He does. Okay, so he goes for Shadow Ball. And as we're going to see here, after that Calm Mind especially, that damage is not too good for him. I mean, for me, it's great. I love that much damage, but for him, it's not going to be that much. And so I realize that I'm free to go ahead and do what I want with this Aegislash. Now, if you, so I go for Giga Drain. Giga Drain will break the sub. And, if you guys did not know, if you Giga Drain a sub, you actually still get HP back from it. So not only do I fade his sub, but I'm going to heal a good chunk of my health right back. And then after leftovers, I'll be pretty good, though I'm getting hit by Shadow Ball again. But as we all know already, I don't care about Shadow Ball damage. Now, expecting that he might go for sub again, but knowing I'm faster, or he might just switch out, I went ahead and I'm going to end up going for Leech Seed this turn, but we're all going to see a cool thing. Now, you might not know this, Shield form, or sorry, King Shield does not protect against status ailments, only attacks. So I go for Leech Seed and he stays in, I still get to seed him. So he just wasted basically like a charge on his shield because he can't Aegis again next turn. I believe it has a 50% chance to fail just like Protect does, right? Or 30 or something like that. So now I got even more regen, so I can stay on this thing for days. There's nothing he can do to me. And I know I outspeed, so I'm going to be getting free Giga Drains off, and we are good to go. So this Aegislash is officially shut down. He does withdraw. I expected that. I didn't know what he would go into. He ends up going to his Kangaskhan. Now, of course, my Toxic Spikes are up, so that's going to be a badly poison on the Kangaskhan, and Giga Drain after one Calm Mind is going to do a hefty chunk of damage. I was not upset with that at all. I'm back up to full HP. Now, I expected him to Mega and go for Fake Out, but I realized I had no reason not to Giga Drain. Looking back at it, I probably should have went for Safeguard, expecting the Fake Out, but I didn't. I am going to try and go for Giga Drain here. Because, I mean, whatever. I figured if he went for Sucker Punch, at least I get health back. As we can see here, he didn't Sucker Punch or Fake Out, so I get I get a huge Giga Drain off. I don't get any health back, though, because he wasn't there. He goes for Return, and since I am not a physical wall, that is going to do a huge chunk of my health. But not, but I'm still not too worried about losing this Pokemon, since Serperior is such a tanky monster. After the poison damage, he goes for Sucker Punch. And that's going to take me very close. I'm going to live with 12 HP and be able to get the revenge kill, or not the revenge kill, but I'm able to kill him first. So Giga Drain goes off, Kangaskhan goes down, and I get some health back. And after leftovers, we're set. But at this point, Esquire is going to end up going the way of Tinker. I realized that no matter what he sent in, I was just going to stay in with Esquire because he doesn't have enough HP left for me to switch him into something. Now, in is going to come Talonflame, and this was perfect, because I figured if he's going to go for Brave Bird on me, and while I am going to go down, Esquire is going to get 2 kills for 1, because not only does he have lots of HP, and therefore gives a hefty recoil back to Talonflame, but after Life Orb on top of that, that is Talonflame out of the way. So that's another Pokemon down. So Serperior definitely carrying his weight, getting a 2 for 1 in that match, cannot be upset about that, and they were both physical attackers, which is amazing. Now I throw in LaFonda, realizing that I'm going to be faster than Aegislash, and if I can do an Earthquake, it is not going to be a problem. Now, I actually predicted him to switch into Landorus, predicting the Earthquake, so you're going to see me go for Dragon Claw this turn, which isn't going to do... It's going to do a good amount, actually, but it's not going to do a ton. So I get a good chunk off, and he goes for Substitute. Now I'm sitting here going, okay, what am I going to do? I need to break the sub. Is he going to switch? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I realize that no matter what, that sub needs to go, because I need to force him to sub again. He goes for King Shield, so he's going to get even more health back, which does suck. It does help him regen behind that sub. It's a cool little combo he's got, so Earthquake is not going to do anything. Now, I'm glad I went for Earthquake, though, because if I had made physical contact, I would have got the attack drop from King Shield. Now I go for Earthquake this turn, because, again, it's either going to break the sub or he's going to switch out. Either one is good for me. There's the sub gone, and now he's in a situation where is he going to sub again and take tons of damage, or is he going to try to King Shield again to get some health back? I don't know which one he's going to go for. Shadow Ball's going to come in. It actually does decent damage, but not enough to scare me out. That's still a 3-hit KO without a crit, so that is fine with me. Now, predicting him to possibly go into Landorus again, I do end up going for the Dragon Claw this turn, and he goes for the King Shield, sadly. So you're going to see my Dragon Claw go off. Oh no, I'm for Earthquake. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. Spoilers. Go for Earthquake. He gets more health back. And at this point, I was like, okay, now he has to switch out. So I go for Dragon Claw. Sorry, I was thinking about something completely different. In comes Landorus. He gets the Intimidate off. Sorry, I didn't hit the King Shield. It's the Intimidate. I remember getting an attack drop. I couldn't remember what dropped my attack. I'm glad I predicted that, because there goes the Dragon Claw doing almost half. Earthquake goes off, and that's going to deal another hefty amount. Now, right now, LaFonda is my win condition. I need her later on to outspeed the Aegislash, because at this point on his team, the Aegislash is the one thing that I'm afraid of. So I switch in F-Zero to get the Intimidate off and predict another Earthquake. And not only did I get the Intimidate off, but I predicted the Earthquake, so it's perfect. He withdraws. I believe he's going to go back into Aegislash again at this point. He does. Okay, so I'm going to hit him with a Brave Bird, something very effective. But to be honest, a stab Brave Bird from a max attack Staraptor is not too bad. That is a 2-hit KO. But I believe after leftovers it might be a 3-hit KO. I'm not entirely sure. I think it might actually be a 3-hit KO. Sadly, he goes with the King Shield. I kind of predicted that, but I didn't want to switch into anything because I didn't feel safe letting something take a hit, so I went for Brave Bird just in case he didn't switch. But even with that attack drop, I realized I had to stay in because he's probably going to try to sub again, expecting me to switch. And if I hit him with another Brave Bird, he wouldn't have enough HP to sub again. So I am going to go for the Brave Bird one more time, hitting his Aegis Slash. And even after that Intimidate, I dropped him down low enough that he's going to go for sub, and he is going to fail. So that was fantastic. It was exactly what I was going for. I figured this turn he might just King Shield again to drop my attack, but just in case he predicted me to switch out, I went for Brave Bird one more time, and as we're going to see, obviously he protected, so I get the attack drop once more. And at this point, if I keep trying to go for Brave Birds, he will eventually lower my attack so much that he will be healing more than my Brave Bird does, so I'm forced to switch out. I went for Misty, crossing my fingers so he wouldn't go for anything too crazy. And as we're going to see here, he does go for an attack, and I was like, I'm dead. I'm totally dead. He goes for Sacred Sword. So this is a mixed Aegis Slash. Now, Sacred Sword, though it ignores defenses, at the same time, my Staraptor was a flying type, and I'm pretty sure Sacred Sword is a fighting move? No, or is it a steel move? I don't actually remember off the top of my head which element Sacred Sword is. Let me pull it up here. Let's just check. I want to say Sacred Sword. Yeah, it's fighting. So even if he had gone for my Staraptor with that, I'm not convinced it would have killed. And I'll go for Life Orb Scald, and we're going to see here that that is enough to take down Aegis Slash, so Aegis Slash is out of the way. No longer is it a threat, and that was the main thing that I needed, so my win condition has pretty much been met, because, again, as I said, I'm not afraid of anything else on his team. Aegis Slash was the last thing he had. He goes for Stone Edge. Insult to injury, he's going to miss. I'm going to go for Scald, and that is going to be Landorus down, and that will be the end of the match. And so that is going to be a 3-0 in my favor. Again, as I said, 3-0 seems to be a very common score in Pokemon, since once you get down to the last core of 3 Pokemon, once one of those Pokemon falls, the entire team kind of collapses. So once he was down to Talonflame, Aegis Slash, Landorus, I realized that Talonflame was so low, it literally was going to kill itself with Recoil and Life Orb. So I just had to let it finish off something like Death Fodder, which is what I did with Esquire, and it worked. Landorus was good, because I knew that I could outspeed it and kill it with Misty. So that was a no-brainer. And then Aegis Slash was all that was left, and with Garchomp being able to outspeed it with one Earthquake, I could have killed it, since I wouldn't be getting the attack drop from Earthquake, and I wouldn't have to fear Landorus switching in to nullify my Earthquake attack. Now, there is a chance he could have won, and I'm seeing it. If when I had switched into Starmie, if he had gone for Skull, or if he had gone for Shadow Ball instead of Sacred Sword, I'm almost convinced that he might have actually ended up winning that match, because Starmie would have gone down to 1 Shadow Ball guaranteed. She is not a bulky Pokemon. It's a stab Shadow Ball from an Aegis Slash that's very powerful, and it's also super effective. So Starmie would have been down for sure, and I'd already taken some Life Orb damage at that point, so I didn't have full HP. At that point, all he would have had left to work with was a Staraptor, who doesn't do very much damage, to Aegis Slash, who would most likely die to the Brave Bird from Talonflame, since he's not very bulky, and who can only do neutral damage to Landorus and can be KO'd by Stone Edge. And then Garchomp, who literally had 22 HP left, so it would also die to a Brave Bird from Talonflame. Oh wait, no, Talonflame wasn't around at that point. Sorry. Staraptor still would have went down to Stone Edge, though. I forgot Talonflame wasn't there at the end. And then all that would have left me with is Garchomp, who, though it could probably still kill Aegis Slash, would only be doing neutral damage to Landorus. Though, would I outspeed it and be able to hit it with Dragon Claw, and then Earthquake Aegis Slash? I'm pretty sure Garchomp could have still won that match by itself, since at the end Landorus had such low HP. But I'm not 100% sure. So there is a chance that the match was already lost anyways, even without Starmie. But not going for the Shadow Ball made him going basically sealed the deal, like guaranteed. There is a chance, I think, that he could have beat Garchomp with his Aegislash by getting enough health to set up a sub and then getting a free attack against me. Because he could have had his Aegislash on the field, King shielded, got health, and then went for substitute. But I would have outsped, actually. Yeah. So yeah, I think I might have actually. I'm not actually sure how my opponent could have won that one. I'm trying to think about it, but I'm not too sure. He was South Korean, so he's probably not watching this. But if at some point he does watch this, sir, good game. I wish I could say it in your language, but I can't. But since you had Let's Battle in English, I have a feeling that you might know that. Either that or you were trying to get English speakers to fight with you, which you succeeded in. And it was a very good match. It was a very good match. It makes me feel really good. I'm liking 6v6s a lot. I know I keep saying it, but compared to when I played ranked singles where I only got to use 3 Pokemon and I would literally lose all the time, out of the 6v6s I played today, I have only lost one of them. Yeah, just one. I lost the very first one when I got home, and then I won the next 5 in a row. Granted, a lot of them, granted 3 of those were against teams that weren't competitive, and while they weren't like babies, they were a competitive team that didn't have the items on them for some reason. So I don't like really counting those, but those matches did definitely help me, because even though the Pokemon didn't have items, the Pokemon were still trained and they were still threats. They definitely were threats. Those matches were pretty close, even without the items, so my opponents were very good. But on top of that, I still got to practice with the team and know what I could switch into what outspeeds what, and I'm starting to see how come they say to make a team and practice with it, because I'm starting to get really comfortable with this team, and I'm feeling really confident with them, and it's starting to show in how my battles actually turn out. And I'm really, really proud of these Pokemon. They've served me so well, and I feel bad. Hopefully the Pokemon in my box aren't watching this. If they are, I love you guys too. Not that they're actually watching, but these 6 right now, these are the big 6 for me. I really don't know what else I would do. I'm loving this team. Like, if I could give them all big ol'... Oh, I can, Pokemon and me. I'm about to say, if I could just give them all big ol' hugs, but I can. I can feed them little muffins and pet them and all that good stuff. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. It is very long. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your cleanliness. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I appreciate your support. Again, thank you to the new subscriber. If you came from Ollie's channel, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Despite the bad quality in the video that I produced, I don't know what happened to my sound. And if you are the old subscriber returning after we've been accidental on sub, thank you so much for coming back, because every member of this little community, whether they type in the chat or whether they send me messages or talk to me on Twitter, or if they don't talk to me at all, I enjoy having all of you around, because the fact that you're here watching means that you obviously are enjoying my content and that I'm doing something good in your day, and that makes me really happy, because my favorite thing in life is to make other people happy. And I know that might sound kind of sad because I'm not putting myself first, but screw society. I don't need to put myself first. I like helping other people and being very polite and nice, though I did go through etiquette school. So that could be why. But again, I'm rambling. I will end the video here. It's almost 30 minutes long. If you watch the entire thing without skipping, you are a boss, and you can have a high five. My roommate is sleeping and though I'm yelling, I don't want to make a high five, because knowing my luck, that will be what wakes her up. So guys, once again, thank you so much. I enjoy all of you, and enjoy your day.